On November 16, 2025, inside the stadium of the Saskatchewan Roughriders' biggest rival, a kid from Burlington, Ontario, hoisted the Grey Cup. He wasn't supposed to be the story. He was a fourth-round pick like your boy, drafted in the pandemic, 4 years. He was a rotational piece, very similar story. Special teams guy, a name that really wasn't on the CFL radar, but then the pads came on for the 2025 season, and the kid from Burlington put up 91 tackles, 4 sacks, 3 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, a most outstanding Canadian nomination, and a championship ring. 3 months later, he became the highest paid linebacker in the CFL salary cap era, just not in Saskatchewan. This is a story of how A.J. Allen and how he bet on himself twice. Man, welcome to the podcast. I'm real excited to have you on today. It's a pleasure to talk to you today, my guy.
Absolute pleasure to be here. That intro was fire.
Hey, we had to hype you up a little bit. I mean, shoot, you're doing great things. Obviously in the CFL, making a name for yourself. I mean, I know kind of what it's like when you start out not number one on the depth chart, you're number 2, number 3, number 4, and you're just trying to fight and scratch and claw your way to the top. And I think your story is, I mean, even more than mine, where like, everyone has a different story. Mine kind of took the 2 years, and then year 3, I kind of got my go, but yours was kind of, again, you got drafted in 2020. We'll get more into that, and going back to Guelph, the canceled season, all that. And then you fast forward to now, and it's like, You've done everything to be the guy, and are getting paid rightfully so for that. And it's just it's awesome to see that for you, my guy.
I truly appreciate it, man.
Yeah. So what I guess kind of going into our first sort of segment here of I guess just everything that's about AJ Allen, right? Like the kid from Burlington. I guess let's just start there. Like what was it like for you kind of growing up in Burlington and just living that life and everything that came with growing up there?
Sure, man. It was where do you even start? Burlington's I like the city. It's a nice city. Um I grew up playing Burlington Stampeders football. The only reason I started playing football, honestly, was my mom wanted to get me out the house. I was a gamer kid growing up. I played volleyball and basketball. Those were like my 2 sports. And they go on, indoors and during the school season. But during the summer times, I was inside on the game, not minding my own business. And mom wanted to get me out the house, and she saw a newspaper ad for Burlington Stampede football, and she went out and went for it, and we went out there. I had a great time. I was actually not that bad. I was playing defensive end. They gave me number 74. Didn't even care. I didn't even know what number was good, what wasn't good at that time. I was just there to hoop and kick whoever's ass was in front of me.
Yeah.
So I fell in love with it after that practice, and I didn't miss one since. Um, so I guess that's kind of my intro to football in Burlington. Wasn't a lot of people of color, and that's okay. That's kind of Burlington. Burlington's a city where people go to retire and yada yada yada. And these
Right.
places are high. I can't lie to you. These house prices are high out here. So um yeah, that's my start there. I played with some greats too. I played with Nathan Rourke.
Yeah.
He was my quarterback in Burlington. I played with Josh Palmer, who plays receiver.
Wow.
Who else? There was a bunch of others too,
Yeah.
but, that's how, like, my intro to football started, and then, go to high school and stuff like that. It was definitely different in Burlington because football wasn't so big here.
Right.
Uh
MM Robinson High School, is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
That's
Not a
that's my
football factory. Definitely not a football
not a
factory, right?
football factory. On top of that, our population size is tiny compared to all the high schools like Nelson, Assumption, Notre Dame, Corpus Christi, Hayden. Our population size is small. Like we don't. And when I graduated, in my whole school, there was only like 890 something students in my school at the time,
Mhm.
compared to everyone in school, 1,500, 1,700, 2,000 for some cases. So not only were we not a football factory, but we just weren't a big school in general.
Right.
Um, and I'll emphasize how big of not football factory we were. We only had 23 players on the roster.
Wow.
My school has at the time that I was there for 4 years, we folded twice because we didn't have enough people.
Wow.
So
Wow.
those are some of the hurdles I went through, and again,
Hmm.
a blessing for summer football because I wasn't able to play it in high school, and that was
Right.
also a time where you went to a high school that was closest to you, so
Right.
it wasn't like, oh, you can just you know
The
uh
district, you
go
guys
to-
had
yeah,
districts or like divisions in a way. Yeah. Very
yeah,
similar
yeah, yeah,
to California.
yeah, very similar like that. So, yeah, those are some of the hurdles growing up in Burlington trying to play football at a high level.
Yeah. When did like football, like, was it once you got into high school? Is that when football kind of became the thing for you as opposed to just like, hey, it's just one of those sports I play, like football, hockey, whatever. We're just playing sports. But like, when did that become the thing for you?
100%. I want to say grade 9 is when it really became the thing for me. And I say that because I couldn't play volleyball and football at the same time. Right?
Mm,
Those sports in at least my area at the time were at the same time. So you
right.
either go to volleyball practice or you go to football practice. You can't go to both. So
Mm,
at that point, I felt like I was really good at football, and I learned more about it over the times and over the years of I started in grade 4. This is grade 9. I'm 5 years of playing summer football. I felt like I was really good at it, and that was where I wanted to go. So in grade 9, I kind of made that choice that this is what I'm going to put my time into.
right. Right. So grade nine was kind of like that. Is that when you would say you sort of knew like I could do this, like I could take this and run with it and go pretty far with it.
100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's even when I started making all those sacrifices necessary, right?
Mm,
Obviously, it's easier when you're young and stuff like that. When you go to high school, you start building your own foundation, right? Your moms and your teachers and stuff like that ain't gonna be there all the time. So,
hmm.
so when you start making your own individual decisions to chase this greatness and be you. So yeah, I would definitely say grade 9 is when I started making those decisions. Even like grade 10 is really when it took off for me because in grade 10 is when they opened up the gym
Mm,
for just anybody. You can come at any time. We're gonna open it up to the football team. You guys can come here all the time. So I used to take my 40-minute walk, get there, work out for an hour and a half, 40-minute walk back, and I did that damn near every day
hmm.
for the summer as long as I didn't have something else to do. And I never
Right.
had anything else to do. Again, I'm a kid in the house. I don't be doing much outside of this. So
Yeah. And you were talking about kind of like your family and your upbringing. Who were the people that sort of saw it in you first, right? Like was your parents or a coach, a teammate? Like who was like the person that said AJ could go pro, like he could do this?
I had a very supportive cast, man. Definitely, I'll start with my mom and sister. Definitely at that time and period, we were all kind of on the same boat. My sister was a D1 volleyball player. She got a scholarship to Eastern Illinois, um, and then transferred to Delaware State, where she won a championship. Then she coached there, won another championship. I'm actually chasing her right now. I got to get one more to get it back. Um, but definitely, mom and sister at that time to start was definitely the starting case, and then I mean, as I got older, many coaches and teachers as well, because obviously they wear two hats at the time. Um, Coach Below or Daniel Below. I'm still in contact with him to this day, man. He was my basketball coach. He also started coaching football. Just to be around, all of his favorite students, you feel me, at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But, so he was definitely one of them. And also Coach Ferroni was my high school head coach. And then again, just so many others. Coach Wright, Coach Campanera, Coach Cosbor. There were so many guys that believed in me.
Hmm.
Uh, and that I wanted to prove right. So
Right.
those guys saw it in me from when I was very young.
Right, right. And then from there, obviously you have your high school story, and then you're kind of getting recruited right around the U Sports scene. Obviously ended up falling on Guelph. You played 5 years there, right?
Yes,
Did
sir.
yeah, did four, drafted, did the fifth year because the season got canceled. Which hey, that's a great idea, right? Get some
Yep.
football going
Why
while
not?
the when there's not a season going. But I mean, for those that don't know, that aren't listening, that aren't following esports, Guelph's a legit program. Like y'all have put out some dogs in the CFL. You got dudes in the NFL now that
Yep.
are balling down there.
Yeah.
Why Guelph? Like what made you want to go there?
A few factors. So I got there in 2016, and that was after they just won a championship. They
Hmm.
just won the Yates in 2015. So
Hmm.
wanted to go to a winner. That's was one thing, especially with me. I hate losing. I mean, we all do, right? But
Yeah.
I hate losing to my core. So that was one thing. And especially going from a high school program that folds when we don't have enough players to being in a position to pick a university in which they are champions. Players is not an issue.
Hmm.
Commitment is not an issue. Discipline, going through that kind of aspect was kind of huge for me. So I'll definitely start there. Another thing, his he was an LB coach there. His name was Adam Grandy. He went to
Okay.
MRC.
Okay.
So, he
So he
was
knew
able.
he knew about the pipeline a little bit. There's a little
He,
pipeline there.
he knew, yeah. He it's almost as if like my coaches told him, "Hey, we actually got one of them kids here.
Hmm.
You should come check him out." And he did, and we were able to have some conversations, and just kind of get my name out there. He was able to invite me to the high school camp, and then I performed well over there and got the defensive MVP one of those at that high school camp. So
Okay.
that was one thing as well for sure, just having that connection with the linebacker coach. And then what else? Proximity, right?
Yeah.
Golf is only 45 minutes from me. So it's far enough from home in which your mom's not making a drive every day, man. But
Yeah.
it's also like not too far from home where it's like, oh, can you come? Can you help me out here? It's like, sorry, you're an hour and a half away, 2 hours away. Can't
Hmm.
make it. So that was another thing as well. The academics at the time, I wanted to go into French because
Okay.
that was I took French immersion in high school. So and all the way through, I wasn't one of those guys that stopped in grade 9. I took
Hmm.
it. I took it the whole way. So I wanted to go into that program as well, and I didn't know what kind of level it was at, but I had some conversations with a President's Trophy winner. His name was John Rush. Played
John
on.
Rush.
Yep.
John Rush. I
Yep,
remember
yep.
him.
He was there at my recruiting visit. He was a big part of why I put shows there as well.
Yeah.
Big number 5 for the Guelph Griffins. Yeah, he graduated with honors in French as well. So I was like, okay, so it's definitely possible. And then it's funny because I couldn't get into French afterwards. I'll explain that story. I ended up picking the criminal justice and public policy because I wanted to go into at that time I wanted to go into social work or law, one of the two. Um, so the academics was another reason as well.
Hmm.
I also again I love the uniforms, black and red and gold was sick.
So you guys were like kind of
Especially
the original, like you guys were the Oregon of
for
Canada
the
when I was
Oregon of
coming up
Canada,
here.
man.
Because I don't have, obviously my story is way too long to even talk about, but for me coming up here, once I found out about Guelph, y'all had different jerseys, different, like y'all had it all.
100%. Shout out my dog Stu Lang, man.
Stu
If you don't,
Lang, yes,
if you
yes.
don't know Stu Lang's parents created the adhesive label.
Oh, really?
Created the adhesive label.
Like on like just any adhesive label, like all adhesive labels?
Yes, yes.
So like the command
His
strips that's holding up this photo back there, that's
yes.
okay. It's a
His parents
Stu Lang
created that.
family creation.
Yes.
Wow.
And then he took over the business after they passed and stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah, he's got it and he's been able to give like he's such a charitable and giving individual. Not only has
Hmm.
he given into, us, our uniforms at the time, our stadium, our pavilion. I don't know if you've seen the new pavilion, but like all that,
Yeah,
he
that's
does.
where we play our preseason game. Y'all have the
Yeah, yeah,
field's
yeah.
amazing. Y'all have that big giant like weightlifting area
Yep.
and all that. It's like you
Yeah.
guys really have a professional style. Like y'all have some bet like we won't name names on the teams around the league, but it might be a better total facility than some CFL teams out there.
To be quite honest with you, I still think it would be the best in the CFL if it was.
Okay, okay.
I'm gonna be so honest with you. That facility and the time and planning that Stu put into to building that,
Hmm.
incredible,
Okay.
incredible. And again, not only did he do it for Guelph, this
Yeah.
dude went to Queens and graduated from Queens, so he did it over there too.
And then just yeah. Okay, then just is like, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make it. We're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
make
I'm
both of
I'm
them
gonna just
nice.
do it wherever I touch, just get some money, you know what I'm saying? Like that's so. Yeah, yeah, he was definitely incredible in terms of the building of the team as well, the jerseys
Right.
and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, those were the most reasons why I chose University of Guelph. I didn't get into French because what had happened was I joined the French course, right? And apparently there was levels in which you got to get into.
Hmm.
There was, entry level and yada 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 and yada yada yada. I applied to the wrong one.
Oh
I
no.
applied I applied to the entry level one.
Yeah.
I was supposed to apply to the intermediate one. So when I found this out in the first class, I chose to shut up so that I could get an easy A. I
Oh,
wanted
so
to
you just you faked your way like you'd
I
never
wanted
spoken a
I
lick
wanted
of
to
French
make my
before.
way through it. Yes, that's what I wanted to do. What had happened was that second class, that teacher asked me a question, and she was like, "Wait, no, I hear it.
She trapped you.
I hear it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear it. I picked you today, and I hear the accent. Your grammar was good. This isn't you don't have entry level
Oh no.
French." So she had to kick me out of the class because my
Uh-huh.
level was too high. And by the time the intermediate class was there, I couldn't apply because
Hmm.
the slots were filled. So I ended up not taking French after that because I picked the wrong one by mistake.
Oh, there we go. There we go. That's a pretty cool story. And like in that, so you're obviously going through college, and I always say college. I know the Canadians always call it you guys call it university, but like
Yeah,
down
yeah,
in the
yeah.
States, we just call it college. So bear
Fair
with
enough.
me on my grammar.
No,
I
you good, man.
I have too many stuff. I'm Canadian, American, Greek. I got all these different accents I got to figure my way through. But like going through college, that I think the 21 year you were the OUA's most outstanding defensive player, first team All Canadian. Leading up to that, in your years coming up at Guelph, was there, again, you knew you were carrying this on, you're at the next level, but all of us obviously go through that phase where we start to realize, okay, I can play pro, I can go to the next level. Is that something you were thinking of in your early years at Guelph, or were you still just trying to figure things out and, get your time on the field, earn your respect, that type of thing?
I was earning my respect for sure. For my university experience was actually like really unique, if you ask me. My first 3 years, I did not play on defense.
Oh
I,
wow.
I wasn't one of those guys that like, after year one, I got some playing time, and then year two, I played. That wasn't me and Ma, unfortunately. Um, we went through three head coaching changes. We went through three or four strength and conditioning coach changes.
Hmm.
Um, and then also with the head coaching changes came new defensive coordinators. So we went from winning a championship to going in transition.
Mm.
Um, and we were still good teams, but we just couldn't
Yeah.
figure out things. So for me personally, I was one of those guys that unfortunately they tried to bury, and
Yeah.
but they couldn't. Um,
We're gonna see that story a little bit later on too. The being undeniable.
Yeah, they try. Realistically, I've been tried at every level of my career. In my third year, so that's when we got a new head coach again, and we had a absolute flurry of new players, new recruits that new coaching staff brought in, and it almost seemed as if those guys were guaranteed starting positions. They
Mm,
didn't necessarily have to earn it or anything like that. Guys I've never seen around here before. I was in Guelph in the summer. I was there. I was working out. I was working. That's where I was trying to lay my foundation to I'm gonna
mhm.
play. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play. No one's gonna stop me. Yada yada yada. And
Right.
then and then all of a sudden the season came and I was like, wow, it don't even feel like I have a chance right now. Like what's going on? But yeah, in that third year, yeah, I was up there competing to play Sam, and uh, I lost it somehow. I truly
Mhm.
thought that I was better, uh, faster, stronger, smarter. I knew the game better. The it's just just the personal confidence issue. Like I felt like I
Yep.
had it. On top of that, I understood the playbook better. I even remember even right now, like I was answering the questions in meetings
Mm.
about, our job, yada yada. The starter would look to me for
Yep.
information. So
Mhm.
I'm sitting there like, it's not an athletic. I'm more athletic than the person at hand, and it's
Mhm.
not an intelligence issue because he's coming to me for answers.
You're right.
What's holding me back here? Couldn't figure it out, and that's kind of when I went through my first eureka moment of
Mm.
of I got to stop trying to prove people wrong
Right.
because they one, I'm not happy right now, right? This isn't fun. Keep trying to prove my coach wrong. Keep trying to. A bunch of other people think I should play, but I'm not, and there's nothing I could do about that. My
Hmm.
my coach doesn't think I have the level necessary.
Right.
Okay, I can't let him stop me from playing football. Not only that, I can't let him take my love of football away from me. I
Hmm.
won't let him. So that's kind of where I went from proving people wrong to proving myself right. And
Right.
I was like, the moment I could be okay with that of creating my own criteria and trying to meet it is the moment. No matter what happens, no matter where I go, no one can take football from me.
Right.
You have to be able to say, um, I thought this guy was better. It won't matter to me anymore. I
Right.
knew I'm better, and that's good enough.
Right.
So,
So your
that was
your
my
I guess that like click moment was like less results based and more like process based. Like I'm just gonna be in love with the process and do like what I need to do and just
yeah,
see where the
yes,
chips fall from there.
yes and no, because I always think, like, if you wanna win, you're gonna have to be okay just forgetting the result, right? The journey is the
Right.
most important. I think I think the part that really clicked for me is I'm now looking at my own results, not results that people placed upon me or our position or our game. I'm not going to look at what my coach thought was a good linebacker and go
Hmm.
try to meet that. I'm not going
Right.
to do that anymore. What I'm going to do is going to create my own research, going to conduct my own research. I'm going to determine what's a good linebacker, and that's what I'm going to try to meet.
Yep.
I'm gonna conduct what's a good football player, and that's what I'm going to try to meet.
Yep.
And that's okay with me. If if
Hmm.
if if that's the way I go out, then that's the way I go out. That's
Yeah.
how I I'll
Yeah.
I'll I'll die on that hill. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. But I'm not gonna go out, keep trying to be a University of Guelph linebacker when I'm trying to be a great linebacker. I
Mm,
wanna be able to go anywhere
facts.
and freaking hoop. That's what I
Yeah.
wanna be able to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kinda what that mindset was for me.
Right.
And I still remember this to this day because again, it irks me. There's a few things that really irk me about that period. I had I had at that time, I only played specials in year 3. That's
Mhm.
it. I was, this is the year I was an OUA All-Star, for rush cover, for special teams.
Wow.
And, there was some politics in terms of me not being first team and not being second team, but we don't have to get into that. What the point is, I had 22 special teams tackles, okay, in 8
I
games.
was gonna say 8 games for 22 special teams tackles
8
is like
games. I
you get
was
some
all
CFL
over.
dudes don't get that in
That's what
18.
I'm saying. I was at, like, 3 or 4 game. I was everywhere.
Yeah.
Cardio was elite, unblockable. I'm at where the ball's at. That's where you find me. And the linebacker that was starting ahead of me had 28 tackles on the season.
Mm.
So I was sitting there and I'm like, "Man, proof is in the pudding," and
Proof is
that's
in the
okay.
pudding.
Proof's
Yeah.
and that's okay. I can live with that. So here comes year 4. I don't know if you know this guy, but you might. His name is Dennis McPhee.
Yeah, that does sound familiar. I feel like I've heard that name before.
He was a D-line coach at Hamilton.
Yes, yeah, that's how I know him. Yeah, because all the
Yes.
Hamilton guys talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
him.
So his name was Deke,
Yeah.
and after that 2019 season, so after that 2018 season, my 3rd year, he came and became our defensive coordinator.
Hmm.
And that dude put me on the field, and he changed my whole career trajectory.
Wow.
He had me playing rush end, or field end for anybody that doesn't know.
Yeah.
And, that year we were absolute Goliaths on that field. It felt like no one could score.
Wow.
Um, and again, I was playing some great football. And again, this is my first year actually playing at the
Hmm.
university level. I'm in year 4. I'm in year 4, and I just started playing football. And I finished like second on the team in tackles. I had 4.5 sacks playing end,
Hmm.
and that's only because in the OUA you can't fight stats. I
Mm.
couldn't fight for the stats I didn't get or that they
Yeah.
gave to somebody else at the time.
Right.
So, realistically, I had 7.5, which would have put me top 5 in
Wow.
Canada, not in Ontario, in Canada. But when you play beside Tavius Robinson, who's 6'6" and
Yeah.
can just ball and
Yeah.
cover everybody that's around you, or when you play beside at the time, his name was Lansing McKinda,
Okay.
and he was an absolute monster as well, strong, fast. He was an elite 3 tech. We had a very good defensive line. We led the nation in sacks and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Um, run defense. We were hooping over there. So you play with them, your stats get stolen, you can't fight it back.
Yeah.
Whatever, is what it is. And then after that 4th year, I got drafted. I
Right.
got drafted after off of 1 year in playing defense, only 1, and I was playing out of position.
Right.
So, um, that was kinda like, man, I was right in year 3.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
was right. I knew I had it, but I just had to keep going for me. And
Right.
huge shout out to Deke, huge shout out to Coach Sardo as well. Guys that really helped me put back my technique into love of the game, because you're doing so many things by yourself when you believe that no one else is here to do it
Right.
for you. So yeah, that was year 4, and then obviously COVID happened,
Yeah, you
right?
got drafted in 2020. 35. I was picked 36. I was
There you go.
waiting. I was
There
waiting. You
you
took the pick
go.
before me. I thought maybe I was going to get drafted to SAS, but no, it all worked out and getting drafted to Hamilton, and it's worked out great so far. But
Yes, sir.
what was like? I know what my experience was, but what was your experience with no season, no rookie camp? Obviously, you ended up going back to school, right?
Yeah,
How did you deal with that? And obviously, I know we kind of got fooled a couple times, like, hey, the season's gonna start, we're gonna do a
yeah.
bubble, and then finally got axed. Like, how did you deal with that whole
Yeah, that
year
was
after getting
that was
drafted?
tough, man. For me personally, I don't think I handled it the best way, to be honest. I think it was definitely another big moment of growth for me. It started out with, I don't know if there's going to be a season, but I'm going to be ready anyway. So,
Hmm.
do your training. Then COVID hits, and it hits a little bit harder, and it hits a little bit harder. Excuse me. And they start closing gyms.
Hmm.
So I wasn't one of those guys with connections. Again, I've done a lot of things by myself, per se. So I wasn't a guy that had access to a gym or a garage gym or a home. I was one of those guys kind of stuck. So
Right.
I was like, okay, if I'm not gonna get stronger, at least, or do your push-ups, whatever case might be, but I'm not gonna be able to lift, obscene amount of weight. So I'll just stick with the cardio. I'm not much of a runner though. I hate
Hmm.
running for the most part. But I can sprint. And that was something I found joy in. So, I was doing I found a very big hill by my house, and I was doing hill sprints, every day, 8 to 12, more and more and more, whatever the case may be. But when the winter time came, because that's half of the CFL offseason anyway,
Yep.
it started getting a little bit too cold. The hill started getting real hard. I started falling up the hill because my cleats wouldn't grab into it anymore. So
Hmm.
at one point, I'm sitting there again like this just isn't an option. Like I'm not getting what I need out of this, and
Right.
at one point I might even get hurt. So it's like, let's find something else. So then I caved. I became a long distance runner.
Okay.
1 mile, 3 miles, 5 miles, stuff like that. But again, when the winter came, and I live around students who don't
Hmm.
shovel driveways, who don't care about any of that stuff, the conditions just become like just too horrible.
Right.
I can't run in Timberlands. That's just not
Hmm.
something I'm about to do. So that's another thing that things just kept adding up. And then realistically, when camp came, I was overweight. I was fat.
Mm.
I couldn't keep up with cardio as much as other people from freaking Florida could keep up with cardio.
Yeah.
So it was, it was kind of a wrap for me, especially in training camp, where I don't know if you remember, but that year was only like 2 weeks. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah. We only had 2.5, maybe. Yeah. No, not even 3 weeks. No preseason, and it
yeah,
was like
no
time to go.
preseason.
And a 2-week quarantine to throw that in
Yes.
there too. Locked in
So
your room for 2 weeks.
it was like, yeah, there's I got that. I'm like, man, I'm screwed. Like,
Right.
ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do to, I thought training camp and football could whip me into shape. And not only that, this is my first taste of, man, I'm not even practicing. I'm,
Right.
I'm not, what I'm saying? There's nothing I'm gonna be able to do right now. So
Right.
yeah, I was fat, and after the 2 3 weeks they sent me back, which was,
Mm.
again, I realized my other big life lesson, I guess, was like everything comes at a cost, right? Everything
Yep.
has a price. And at that point, I didn't pay enough to get to where I wanted to get to.
Mm.
I didn't pay enough. I didn't submit enough deposits.
Yeah, the
No
deposits,
matter
the
what
daily
my
deposits.
daily deposits, and no matter what my circumstances was, at the end of the day, no one cares,
Mhm.
right? Although we love the journey, the league that we are in is result driven. What
Yep.
have you done for me lately?
Yep.
That is what it is. So,
Mhm.
at that point, I learned that lesson the hard way, unfortunately.
Right.
But, went back to school for that 5th year in 2021, and I took everything personal,
Took it
and I
over.
was I was willing to put in whatever the cost was to be great.
Mhm.
Uh, and that's what I was able to do. I was the best linebacker in football that year, first team All Canadian. You feel me?
Mhm.
We couldn't win though, um, unfortunately, but you know, second did the best we could.
Right, right. So you spend that year in 2021, ball out, do your thing. You come back in 2022, set foot in the locker room, obviously taking that knowledge of what you had learned from the 21 training camp that you spent. But from 21 to 24, you played about, I think, 48 games. You were on the field, you were on special teams, you have some flashes, but
Mhm.
you're not the guy yet. What
Yep.
were those years like for you? Because like from the outside looking in, like it looks like it's slow cooking, right? Like things are more complicated. There's just all these like different things that you're dealing with. Like what was that like for you?
100%. It people think it's so hard, but honestly, for me, again, I love football, and special teams is a very huge and important part of it. So
Hmm.
that's just something I took pride in attempting to be the best one out there.
Hmm.
I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be on your scouting report. I wanted to be. We need to find an answer for this dude, otherwise he's going to ruin our return game. I didn't take it as such a man. I'm trying to be. I'm trying to start and stuff like that. That's a given. Everybody's trying to start, right?
Hmm.
But how we get there is important. To me, again, my criteria changed of okay, they're paying this guy, they're paying that guy.
Yep.
That's the reality situation. I get an opportunity to play on special teams, right?
Yep.
I could be an opportunity to be that guy. So that's where I'm gonna focus at. This is my role right now.
Hmm.
And I'm all about winning games. If this is my role, this is my role. Let's
Right.
just lock in and do it well. Let's just do me and be the best at it. So that's what I focused on from 22 to 24 realistically. Yeah, I
Yep.
have those moments where I'm like, man, I could play. Man, I
Yeah.
could be better than this guy. Um yada yada yada. Man, we all have those moments, but at the end of the day, this is a team game. If that's not where I was seen, that's not where I was seen, and I was okay with that because I'm trying to be the best special teamer in the CFL.
Hmm.
That's my role. If I'm a
Yep.
special teamer, I'm gonna be the damn best one.
Right.
And that's something I feel like I did achieve in 24 going into 25.
Hmm.
Uh, led the league in tackles. Um, and I just felt like I was dominant. Whoever I called myself the problem solver. Whoever
Yep.
coach the deemed as a problem, whoever coach deemed, hey, this guy gets too many tackles, this guy makes too many plays. I told him send me.
Right.
I'm a solve it. Like I'm a
Yeah.
problem solver. Whoever you think, I don't need two people. Don't send a double. I got this. If I'm gonna die on this hill, coach.
Yeah.
Whenever you have a problem, send me.
Right.
That's what I took pride in. My technique, my ability to some guy that gets two tackles a game to get zero,
Hmm.
or some guy that gets one tackle a game to get zero, or if he gets three, give him one. Things like that. That's something I took pride in. Um, so that's what my role was at, and that
Yep.
was okay with me.
Hmm.
Uh, obviously, again, like it's tough being, I think I can play, I think I can do this, I think I can do
Yep.
that, but the reality is that's just not. What am
You
I
just
going to do?
feel, yeah, you
Yeah,
feel like overlooked. You feel
yeah,
invisible sometimes. Obviously, like you do your best. We all do our best to be optimistic and stuff like that.
100%.
But that doesn't mean that we don't have, mental stuff going on too, where we're constantly fighting that battle. Like we know we're good enough. We know we can get on the field, but like it's just not happening. So then those thoughts
100%.
creep in, and
100%.
you're.
And for me, it's been a matter of opportunity.
Hmm.
Whoever whoever in my life, not only in the CFL or in high school or in college, literally whoever in my life has given me an opportunity, I hope I've paid them back tenfold.
Hmm. Hmm.
I am the right person to bet on.
Right.
I will do whatever is necessary for us to be successful.
Yeah.
That is my superpower. It is
Hmm.
discipline. My mind won't be broken. My
Yeah.
body might, but my mind won't. I will give you whatever is necessary. That is
Yeah.
something I have been able to, again, just learn from failure, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. Just learn from failure of not paying enough and keep trying to prove other people wrong. I have been whoever's given me opportunity in this league has been rewarded.
Right.
And that's something I take pride in because
Right.
by proving myself right, I'm proving everybody right ever
Hmm.
that has chosen AJ Allen.
Yeah. And like speaking into that, like obviously the evolution of AJ Allen, the football player, and you look at what you went through at Guelph and those early years, the grind. Like obviously, when you start in high school, there's politics, but it's not as much. But each level you climb up, the politics become greater and greater. There's a hierarchy, there's a food chain, all that
Yep.
sort of stuff. But like did you feel like you took what you had learned in your situations that you overcame? Maybe some were positive, some were negative, whatever. Do you feel like you took that from Guelph and then applied that to your time in Sask? And do you feel like that made it smoother for what, like just knowing like, okay, I'm in my role, I'm doing what I'm doing. I know I can reach this next level if given the opportunity, but I'm gonna take that and apply it to my situation now.
100%. Yeah. It was a direct correlation of
Hmm.
I'm just repeating steps. I'm
Right.
I'm just repeating steps, but I don't have to learn this the hard way now. I don't have to go all through the mental triumph of, man, I'm getting there. I'm almost, I'm almost about to give up, and I'm feeling really sad
Hmm.
that my coach isn't seeing me, and I didn't have to go through that anymore. I
Right.
could just shift back to my prior experience of, okay, I know what it looks like. I know I'm good compared to who else I'm comparing myself to. I know I'm gonna be able to reach and if not, have reached my criteria of what it
Hmm.
looks like practice. I know I'll be ready for a game if there is one.
Right.
All I can do. That's it.
Yep.
That being said, I still have an opportunity to play football. So
Yep.
let's go ahead and be great at when I am on there, whether
Yeah.
that be blocking somebody or making tackles. Let's make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So uh
Exactly.
yeah, I was 100% able to lean back on prior
Yeah.
um experiences just to get through that transition a lot smoother.
Right. And we know obviously like the CFL career for the most part is a short career for a lot of guys, right? We know
Yeah.
the pay is obviously climbing and it's great to see it growing for, guys across the league, but being realistic, like it's a hard business to be in. Like was there any point in those first couple of years, like did you think about ever walking away from football, maybe going back home, starting a business, getting a regular job, like whatever it was? And like the reason I think I wanted to ask that, because I'm always curious about that. And obviously to help young athletes who might be hearing this episode, like, is there, is there guys that ever have thoughts about quitting when they're even at the highest of highest levels where they're striving to? Like, what was there ever a situation like that you dealt with throughout those first couple of years in the league?
For me, no. To be honest with you, no. I didn't have one. I again, I've said this a few times now, but I love football. This
Hmm.
game has taught me so much, not only about how to be a good football player, but how to be a good man,
Yep.
uh, brother, boyfriend, all that stuff. It has taught me a lot about that. I love this game, and as long as it's willing to give something to me, I'm willing to learn and receive.
Yep.
It is a blessing, whether that be just on special teams or on defense, to wear a jersey, wear a helmet, and play a game for a living. It is a
Yep.
blessing. I will never take that for granted. I have never taken that for granted. So
Yep.
for me, no matter if I'm making 50K or 240, I'm going to approach this game the same way of it's an absolute blessing. It,
Yep.
it truly is. So no, I never had that moment.
Yeah.
This is something I also say as well. Like, I have paid to play football
Yep.
up until I got drafted and got my first check in 2022. I paid to do it.
Yep.
I truly did. I took money out of my own account. I'm broke.
I
I'm
feel you.
broke.
I
I'm a
feel
broke
you.
student. we ain't had nothing, right? I
Yeah.
didn't come up from a rich neighborhood and all that stuff. I'm broke. I paid to play
Right.
this game. So anytime any individual is willing to offer me a monetary value to play, sign me up.
Right. Right. No, I think that speaks obviously volumes to like the character you have and how you're wired, and I mean how most football players kind of should be wired. Like you have to learn that you're not always going to be the star, the starter, the leader out in the front. Now you can get there. You might not ever get there, just depending on the opportunity that you're given, right? We're all given different opportunities, but I think going back to that first thing, right? Not being results driven and just being process driven and just being in love with the process, which it sounds like you are, like just in hearing the way you talk about the passion you have for the game. Like you said it, you paid to play football up
Yep.
until you got your first check. And like that hits me too. Cause I'm just like, oh, that's, I'd never really thought about it that way, but like I was living in the same world, right? You buy your
Yep.
own cleats, you buy your own helmet.
Correct.
Like, and yeah, like even
Team
when,
fees,
yeah,
like all that stuff, travel.
it adds up.
It's something we pay for. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how much a lot of us have paid. Every summer we play football. There was a team fee.
Right.
Every single one. You got to worry
Right.
about how to get to practice. That's something you don't. Now we have travel allowances in our contract, training allowances in our housing in our contract. It wasn't in our contract.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
paid to figure out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, well, I know we're gonna speed run this next session because it's obviously the most important. It kind of brings us back to current, but you get to the 2025 season, you play all 18 regular season games, you have career highs, right? 91 tackles. I think it was it around 87 defensive tackles, playing some
Yep.
special teams as well. The
Yep.
4 sacks, the 3 picks, the 3 forced fumbles. That pick in Ottawa, by the way, the one where you drop back on that deep end was disgusting. I remember
Appreciate
watching that
it.
one live, but. You get there, you get the nomination for most outstanding Canadian, you win the Grey Cup. Like, when did you know this year in 2025 speaking was going to be different for you?
It was the moment I started.
Mm-hmm.
The moment I started. It's never been an issue of of personal characteristics, work ethic. It's been an issue of opportunity. I
Mm-hmm.
knew the moment I got an opportunity, I was gonna be all right. That's what I knew. Unfortunately, my dog CJ, tore his bicep, and that's what
Right.
led to my opportunity. But um, I knew the moment I had one, it's time to go. Like I
Right.
can't wait to play it and make some plays. Um, yeah, that's what I knew.
Yeah. What unlocked the ball production for you? 3 interceptions. Like, that's not. I wouldn't say. I'm not going to say that's common for really any linebacker. Like, y'all are known for getting tackles, forcing fumbles, sacks, that type of thing. Maybe some PBUs, but like we all know, we always usually make the joke linebackers can't catch, but a little bit. I mean, DBs too, but we're a little bit better. That's a little bit more our job. But what do you think led to that change in just more interceptions than you had in your entire career?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of film study and coaching. Um, with Coach Trav, also with huge respects to Coach JC, DC over there in Edmonton, and then finally Coach Bell. We especially with Coach Bell, me and him would sit there and talk, and I keep trying to find out creative ways to get more windows and how to play this and how to play that and how we should see football on a pass drop, pass coverage mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So after talking with him, communicating with him, um, in terms of the vision, and then being able to work with guys like Therm, being able to work with guys like Rowe, and being able to work with guys like Sales,
Mm-hmm.
we were able to communicate, and we had an idea what was coming, and if we didn't, we've seen it so much.
Right.
Our base values figured out how to solve a lot of issues. So I will say it's not a huge yes, sure, it's a testament to me, but it's also a testament to who I'm around and who I built relationships with and who
Right.
were my sorry, excuse me again, who were my amazing teammates.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's it's not just one thing that gets you interceptions, right? It's a combination of things. That's how we make plays, right?
Yeah.
Everything is together. So um yeah, I'll definitely say that. And then honestly, the only I dropped 2 picks. I still think about to this day. Those ones would have been on me and would have been
Yeah.
sick. Those ones I would have be able to sit there and say, "Hey, man, that's just me making a great play."
Yeah.
I dropped those ones. The ones I did catch were huge team orientation ones.
Yeah.
Like the one in Toronto, was definitely with me and Revis,
Yeah.
because right the play before that, they went offside and they ran the same play again,
Mm.
which was crazy to me. But me and Revis, after it went offside, we were fully in our drops, and after the play goes out, you look around. Okay, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Cool, cool, cool. And then me and Revis talk about the same thing. I was like, "Hey, man," he's like, "You saw that?" I said, "Yeah, I saw that. Leave it open. Let's see if he throws it." And he left it.
And they did it.
He stayed 10 yards deeper than the route, and he threw it anyway. Couldn't
Right.
believe it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Same thing with kinda Ottawa. That one was a combination of me and Rowe, and then, they ran something earlier in the game on 2nd and 10, to Eugene,
Hmm.
and he threw it, and I felt like I could have got there if I had a little bit more urgency in my drop.
Right.
So I waited for the next 2nd and 10, looked for the same, splits in terms of the receivers, and I was like, "Okay, this could be coming." So, uh, got a little bit more urgency back, and that's why you're talking about, "Oh, bro, that was crazy." Like, yeah, we thought it was calculated. The only ones I didn't get, I dropped one versus Winnipeg, and that one
Hmm.
would have been crazy. Um, I was supposed to blitz,
Okay.
but I saw, um it was second and they went to empty, and I knew what they like to do in empty, so I dropped to steal it. I just
Throw it to Dembski.
yeah, you thought something like that. It was those seam balls, like they like the two
Yep.
seams.
Yep.
And earlier in the game, they threw this one. So I thought again he might try to throw this one because he tested the strong side of the field. So now he's gonna try to test the weak side. So instead of blitzing and leaving it open, I was like, screw it. I'm
Drop
gonna drop
back.
to see what happened. And he
Hmm.
threw it right to me, but I jumped awkward and I couldn't get up high enough.
Mm.
And then the Calgary one was also just sick.
Yeah.
Being able that was just pure linebacker technique of okay, you defend the run, and then after that, turn around, look up the route, looked it up, caught that, man. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then I dropped one versus Nathan Rourke. I called it out all week. That one horrible.
Yeah.
He threw that thing so hard, dog. It hit me in the face before my hands closed. He
Okay.
threw
Yeah.
he
That's
threw
how
it
you know.
so hard.
Off the
I don't
face
even think
mask.
his receiver would have caught it either, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. But that one was like, again, just being smart. I was like, when I see this formation and I see this guy here, I know it's coming, so I'm gonna bait it. I'm gonna jump it. They ran 3 hooks out of the boundary, and my issue earlier in the game was I was lining up inside of 3, so instead, to try to bait it and get in a better position, I kept running into 3, trying to get out to
Mm.
2. So I was like, if I line up head up on 3 to maybe even slightly outside, I can defend both of 3 and 2. So I did it. He threw it, and it hit me in the face before my hands closed. I had to do 10 push-ups on national television.
Yeah. There we go.
But those ones would have been sick if I were able to catch those.
Yeah.
Moment was too big, pissed down my leg, wasn't much of
Pissed
that.
on your leg.
And there
Oh
it is.
man. Yeah. So you get to November, it's the playoffs. You guys had that crazy, obviously, kind of last drive win
Yep,
versus BC in the
yep.
West Final. You're off to the Grey Cup. Like taking a moment to appreciate it's the 112 Grey Cup in Winnipeg. Y'all get to go play in your biggest rivals
Oh, it felt
stadium.
good.
They're
Yeah,
not playing.
yeah.
You get to play. Like
was
what was that week like? What did that feel for you?
incredible, man. It was just a regular week of practice though. Like I try not to again, I've played football. We've all played football for so long. I don't get nervous anymore. I don't. It's just another game. The moment you make it more than another game is the moment it becomes more than itself. You'll
Hmm.
start to make mistakes, overthink things. So this is something Coach Mays preached on us. Just try to go 1-0 each week, and you keep the main thing, and that's it. So if you can focus on that, no moment will be too big. No game will be too big. It'll just be, you're in that moment. You're able to think. You're able to clearly react and play football at that point. So it
Yeah.
wasn't that week of practice wasn't anything too crazy. It was just us locking in and trying to be great and focus on what we need to focus on to win the football game.
Right. Is there a play from that game, like even now, where you can close your eyes and you can sort of see the cinematic version of it, play over and over again in your head?
Man, the last play of the game, man, when they had to chuck up something for that Hail
Yeah.
Mary. I'm sitting there in coverage, just dropping back, dropping back, dropping back. I know not to get too deep because I have like, all my teammates are back there. And my job is going to be to, make a tackle if he does decide to shoot it short, or, if they
Yeah.
want to do that kick route or whatever, just watch out for the nonsense in the middle, not necessarily drop all the way back. So,
Right.
um, being able to see that, and then, Davis Alexander's like, oh, I got to throw it to the end zone. And
Yeah.
like, just being able to turn around and
Just
see them
watching
bat it
slow
yeah,
motion.
yeah, watch them be able to bat it down, it's just like, I'm never gonna be able to not see that, like, that
Yeah.
moment was so special, um, and then just run into my teammates, and we did it, man, we
Right.
truly did it, so, yeah, that's the moment, right, that last play of the game
Hmm.
was the one that I'm gonna be able to see forever, because nothing I mean, I could see some moments clearly, but none of them are gonna be as important as that one, the final play,
Right.
3
Right.
zeros on the clock.
Yeah, and just like taking in that moment, the celebration in the locker room. I know I had Therm on a little bit a couple episodes ago, and he was sharing his experience and kind of the celebration. I'll ask him kind of the same question that I asked him. Like, did you stay out all night and then just find your way onto the bus in the morning to get back to the private charter to get back to Regina for the Grey Cup parade, championship day,
So
all that sort of
so
stuff?
me personally, I didn't stay out all night, but Therm, I don't drink and I don't
Yep.
smoke. I
Okay.
don't. But I told the guys that if we won it, I'm doing both. Uh,
So you
they,
had the
they,
Bud
they,
Light and the cigar in your hand, ready to go.
correct. And Durham gave me I had basically a whole full bottle of champagne. Uh,
Okay.
Durham gave me it was Durham's personal mission to get me wasted. It was. Um, he gave me the first half of champagne, and he's like, "Yeah, you ain't leaving here till you drink this." I said, "Okay, I told you I would, I would." So that, and then he came back another half around 30 minutes later, and I was like, "What is going on? Where'd you even get
Mhm.
this from?" And I drank out of the cup, which was insane.
Yeah.
Um, and I smoked out of a cigar.
There you
I
go.
didn't know what I was doing, so I inhaled. You should not do that.
Yeah.
Apparently, you should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned the hard way. You're not supposed to do that.
That's okay.
Um, but it was incredible. I found my way back. After one point, I got a huge headache from all the things that I don't do. My body's
Yeah.
rejecting.
Yeah.
So
For the
uh,
memories, though. For the memories. That's
for
what
the
it's
memories
about.
and for the boys, man.
For the
There's a lot of
boys.
things you know what I'm saying? For the boys, you do it.
Yeah.
So that was incredible. But I didn't stay out all night. I was out until like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Okay.
maybe, and then I
Mhm.
was asleep. My head was throbbing, and I was out like a light after that.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's awesome. So the last kind of segment we'll leave you on, and you just let me know when you need to peace out, because I know you got bigger fish to fry. We got a season coming up. It's going to be a big one. But speaking about this season, obviously February 1st hits, the
Yep,
tampering window opens, 12:01 on the dot. Your phone rings. It's
yep.
Ottawa. My former GM, Sean Burke, great dude. Really appreciate his time in Hamilton. He was the first call. What did he say to you? What was the recruiting message that got you to land in Ottawa?
Man, his first thing was, obviously we like you as a football player, but um, again, this is why he's Sean Burke, why he's good at his job. He was like, I'm from Guelph, so
Hmm.
I'm able to talk to guys from Guelph, and we really like you as a person as well, and what you can do as a leader, right? He went and talked to my defensive line coach, my everyone that he used to know, right? He went
Hmm.
and talked to them, so he was, not only do I like you as a player, but we like you as a person,
Right.
and that's something we need in this building in terms of to shift this culture. And we think you could be the guy to do that. And that's something I can respect because, especially with me, one time is a huge thing. Again, he called me at 12. He didn't call me at 12:01. He didn't call me at 12:05. He called me at 12.
At
That's
12.
that's big for me.
Yeah.
Um, he also submitted his offer at 12. His
Oh,
offer was in before he called me, which is
okay.
again, like, I wanted to go where they love football, and I
Yep.
wanted to go where I was wanted. Those are my two things. Not many of us can say that during our career, right? We're going where we're
Hmm.
wanted. A lot of us go where the options available, right? But
Right.
I was in a unique position in the market, in the Canadian linebacker market, in which I could say I want to go where I wanted, and I want to go where they love football. So that was huge for me, and he made me feel that. Not only him, but Ottawa's plan towards recruiting me of made me feel that.
Right.
All these guys talking about all these respected individuals, right?
Yeah.
Talking about they appreciate what I can do as a football player, and they also really appreciate me as a leader and as a person, and that they need that in the building. That's hard to ignore. That's real hard to ignore.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, you're the highest paid linebacker in the CFL salary cap era, 2-year deal. Obviously, it's been headlined, it's been printed. Well, when the 3 Down article comes out of the top paid linebackers in the league, we know your name will be in there. Do you feel like Does that feel like pressure? Does it feel like validation? A little bit of both. Like, is that something? It kind of like, okay, yeah, I feel the pressure, but I like that. Like, what is that for you?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess I'm weird. I don't feel pressure. I
Yeah.
don't. It's pressure is a privilege,
Hmm.
and I have the privilege of playing football every day.
Yeah.
So it's no, I don't feel pressure. It's just, to me, again, it's just another opportunity. And like I
Yep.
told you, with opportunities, what I'm trying to do is prove myself right. So
Yep.
Ottawa has chosen AJ Allen.
Yes.
They're the next team to do that. So I gotta
Hmm.
go out there and do the same thing I've done to everybody else that's chosen me. It is time to prove myself right, and that means proving Sean Burke right, Ryan Dinwiddie, Coach Fields, and everybody else that chose me. It is
They're gonna
time.
get rewarded, right?
It's going to get
That's the
rewarded.
word at the start.
That's the word of the start, man. That's how it's always gone. It is time to show that as well. So, yeah, I know there's going to be a target on my head being the highest paid. I understand that people are going to have their own standards and limitations and criteria. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at
Hmm.
my own. I know what a good linebacker looks like. I'm chasing that. I know how to improve. I'm chasing that as well. Those are the things I'm looking for. That's my version of pressure. How can I achieve my own criteria? And
Right.
that's why I don't feel the pressure of other people putting their limitations or expectations on me. I have my own, and honestly, they're probably higher. So at the end of the day, it is my job to make plays. That's what I like to do. That's the trust people put in me, and that's what I'm going to continue to chase. Right? I want to make all these plays. I need to get the football. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
That's what I'm chasing.
Yeah. No, we got to give a shout out to our guy Fred the Bread. He's the
Yes,
money
sir.
man, the
Yes,
agent. Played the
sir.
money song. Let the dollar bills flow down. But he
Yes,
is
sir.
he's the
What
man,
can't
the
he
myth, the
do?
legend. What can he do? What can he
can't
do?
he do?
But I got a few rapid fire questions for you. You just tell me the first thing that pops in your head. Nothing crazy. But here we go. The first one, hardest hit you have ever delivered.
In okay. This was in Stampeder football. Back in the summer. I was playing defensive end wearing number 74 those days, and a little wide receiver caught the reverse, and I
Mm-hmm.
was right there waiting for him.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
The
Popped
paramedic
his
was on the
helmet.
field. Yeah. Paramedic was on the field. Paramedic was
Okay.
on
Okay. Toughest quarterback in the CFL to read.
Vernon Adams for me.
VA. Yeah, that's a good one.
Because
That's a good one.
because he can make throws. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse.
Mm-hmm.
He makes throws based on confidence, what should be open. So his eyes are very deceiving in
Mm-hmm.
terms of how to read it. So he can throw some things blind, which can lead to interceptions, but in my case as well, led to some open windows because I got looked off and he threw it that way, and he got me. So VA is a fun one to play the chess game against.
Yeah. Okay. Go-to favorite song for pregame.
As of right now, "Addicted" by Pay Gotti.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't know if you heard it, but
I'm gonna put that one on my workout playlist.
got you,
Playlist for sure.
got you.
Okay.
You'll love
This one is gonna come a little bit more later in the season once you obviously get your 112 Grey Cup ring. Do you wear it or does it live in the drawer?
you wear it for the first year, and then it'll live in the drawer. Then it'll live in the drawer for now. I have I can send you a picture afterwards, but I have like my mom for Christmas a few years ago got me very, very sweet, very creative as well. She got
Uh-huh.
me an aquarium,
Okay.
no water in it, obviously. So you
Right.
can use the big tank as a trophy case.
It's not a bad idea.
It was a great idea. So I have most of my achievements in it right. I'll send you a photo afterwards, but I got a ton of my achievements in there, and that's where it will go.
Gotcha. Well, man, I appreciate you for coming on, spending, I don't know how we did 60 minutes and it feel like we've only been talking for 20, but
Yeah.
man, I really appreciate you. AJ Allen, linebacker for the Ottawa Red Blacks, 112 Grey Cup champion and officially the highest paid linebacker in CFL history. Where can people follow you? Plug your socials. How can they get entrenched in AJ Allen's story moving
Let's
forward?
do it. My on everything, Twitter or Instagram, is at the real AJ Allen. There is a story behind that, but I guess y'all can find out another day. But yeah, at the real AJ Allen, ALLEN is on my handles.
Awesome. Well, that's AJ Allen, everybody. If you got something out of this episode, I hope you did. Do me 3 quick favors. Hit a follow wherever you're listening so you don't miss the next one. Share this episode with someone who needs to hear the bet on yourself message. And if you're on Spotify or Apple, drop us a 5-star rating. It's the single biggest thing you can do to help this show grow. We'll be back next week with another conversation. Until then, keep your standard high, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.